I have to say, I have a lot of memories of Diane. I guess I feel as though I've known you my whole life. Diane, I have a couple of instances, mainly the one when we all met for the first time, Di.
Hollywood has gone silent tonight. The dazzling lights, the laughter, the timeless charm, all dimmed with the loss of Diane Keaton, gone at 79. But what the headlines aren't telling you will leave you stunned. Behind her radiant smile was a secret struggle, a final message that shook even Al Pacino, and a funeral farewell so emotional it left every soul in tears. This isn't just the end of a Hollywood legend, it's the closing scene of a life lived with heart, humor, and truth. Stay with me, because the story behind Diane Keaton's final goodbye will change how you remember her forever. From the first moment Diane Keaton stepped onto a film set, she was different. She wasn't the typical Hollywood beauty. She was quirky, offbeat, magnetic, and real. Her laugh was unscripted. Her pauses were imperfect. Her energy was pure truth. Then came Annie Hall. It wasn't just a movie. It was a revolution. Written for her, inspired by her, awkward, charming, and heartbreakingly honest. Annie Hall captured the spirit of an entire generation. The world didn't just watch Diane Keaton. It fell in love with her. She won the Academy Award for Best Actress. But the greater victory was how she made vulnerability powerful. The hats, the vests, the loose trousers. Suddenly, being different was fashionable. Diane Keaton had made individuality iconic, but success never shielded her from the storm within. Behind that radiant smile, Diane fought her own private battles. One of them being a long, secret struggle with bulimia in her early 20s. It was a chapter she rarely spoke about, but when she did, she called therapy her talking cure. It changed her. That pain became her power. It gave her empathy, depth, and humor. It turned her from an actress into a storyteller, a woman whose art reflected her resilience. Away from the flashing lights, Diane Keaton built a world of quiet creativity. She adopted 2 children, Dexter and Duke, pouring into them the same love and freedom she once sought for herself. She restored old homes across Southern California, turning architecture into storytelling, and saw beauty where others saw decay. Her Los Angeles home wasn't filled with awards or red carpet photos. It was filled with handwritten notes, vintage books, and framed photographs. She once said, "Old things have stories. They remind us that beauty doesn't disappear. It just changes form." That was Diane Keaton, an artist of imperfection, a woman who found meaning in the cracks of life itself. Diane Keaton and Al Pacino's love story began on the set of The Godfather, where their chemistry was undeniable. Though their romance ended, their connection never faded. Decades later, at The Godfather's 50th anniversary in Los Angeles, Pacino gently helped Keaton on stage, a quiet reminder of enduring affection. When news of her passing broke, Pacino's tribute touched millions. He posted a black-and-white photo captioned, "Goodbye, Diane," later writing, "She was the one who got away. She changed my life forever." Their story, tender, complex, and timeless, remains one of Hollywood's most unforgettable love tales. Away from Hollywood, Diane lived quietly in Los Angeles, camera in hand, sipping coffee as she wandered her neighborhood. Friends noticed she seemed more fragile, her energy calmer, her laughter softer. Privately, she was battling health issues she never spoke about. "Remember me for my work, not my weakness," she once said. In her final days, she called loved ones to thank them, posting a haunting final photo. A sunset captioned, "Every ending carries its own kind of beauty." It was her last message, graceful, poetic, and pure Diane Keaton. Her funeral wasn't a spectacle. It was a whisper. A small ivy-covered chapel stood quietly on the outskirts of Los Angeles. No cameras, no press, only those who had truly known her. Each guest received a single white rose, her favorite flower. Inside, the stained glass windows filled the room with soft light, while a piano played her favorite piece. A video montage began. Scenes from Annie Hall, laughter from The Godfather, and home movies of her children and her dogs. the room filled with both tears and laughter. Al Pacino spoke first, his voice trembling. She didn't chase fame, fame chased her. What she cared about most was truth and laughter. Working with her changed me. And I think she changed all of us. Her children, Dexter and Duke, then spoke. Not as children of a Hollywood legend, but as a daughter and son who had lost their mother. To the world, she was Diane Keaton, Dexter said softly. To us, she was Mom. Funny, stubborn, endlessly curious, and brave. Her son then read a line from her journal. The greatest thing I ever learned wasn't from scripts, but from the people I loved. You write your story by how you treat others. Among the mourners were Meryl Streep, Warren Beatty, and Goldie Hawn. The three were seen holding one another, visibly emotional. After the ceremony, Meryl Streep said quietly, "There are stars, and then there are souls." Diane was a soul. The service ended as simply as she would have wanted. Guests placed their roses beside a framed photo. Diane Keaton, smiling, wearing her signature hat, her eyes bright with life. But then came the moment that left everyone breathless. A video began to play. Diane herself, smiling, recorded months earlier. "If you're watching this," she said, "then I guess I've moved on to whatever's next. Don't be sad for me. Be curious. Keep loving. Keep laughing at yourself. That's how I want to be remembered." The room fell silent, and then applause erupted. A standing ovation for a woman who had given the world her heart, her humor, and her truth. Even now, Hollywood struggles to imagine a world without Diane Keaton. But maybe we don't have to, because she never really left. She lives in every woman who dares to be different, in every actor who chooses honesty over glamour, in every person who finds beauty in imperfection. She taught the world that aging isn't losing youth, it's gaining soul. She turned awkwardness into elegance, laughter into wisdom, and imperfection into art. In her later years, Diane Keaton often spoke about the peace she'd found in solitude. "I've always been a bit of a loner," she once said. "Acting lets me express everything I can't say in real life." She never married, not because she feared love, but because she defined it differently. "I didn't avoid marriage because I didn't believe in love," she wrote in her memoir. "I avoided it because I love differently, freely, fiercely, imperfectly." Despite her fame, she never forgot who she was. Friends say she struggled with self-image even as the world called her a style icon. "I was never comfortable being the pretty one," she once admitted. "I liked being the interesting one." That honesty, that vulnerability, made millions love her even more. As she grew older, she found healing in her art, through photography, writing, and the architecture she loved so much. She spent hours restoring old houses, photographing forgotten streets, and collecting stories that time had left behind. Her home became a museum of memories, filled with laughter, letters, and life. Some close friends revealed that in her final decade, Diane Keaton became more spiritual, curious about what comes after life. She wrote letters she never sent, to people she had lost or drifted away from. One of those letters contained a line that has since gone viral. "Maybe we don't leave this world completely. Maybe the parts of us that love deeply and forgive quietly stay behind in those who remember." Fans everywhere began sharing that quote, saying, "Diane taught us how to be human." For Al Pacino, her passing wasn't an ending. It was a continuation of a love that time could never erase. "She's still here," he said softly. "In every laugh, in every memory. Some people leave the world, but their spirit stays forever." Their love began on a movie set, but it became something timeless. And when he whispered, "Goodbye, Diane," the world understood. It wasn't goodbye. It was forever. Diane Keaton showed us that life isn't about perfection. It's about presence. It's about laughing through fear, loving through pain, and shining your light even in the darkest moments. Her story isn't a tragedy. It's a masterpiece of courage, grace, and authenticity. If her life has ever inspired you to embrace your quirks or chase your truth, honor her by living boldly. Like, share, and subscribe. Because legends like Diane Keaton live forever through the stories we keep telling. Thanks for watching.